Oh, hello, beautiful people. So this is a Galactic Mayan astrology report for the Wavespell that's beginning on the 4th of December 2018. I am currently in Goa, in a place called Arambul, and yeah, it's really beautiful. If you've kind of been watching the reports for a little while, I was recently in the UK and it was just really full on and hardcore, and I feel like I've settled back into my own vibe now, which is really wonderful. And I get to sit outside and do the astrology reports. I'm like sat on the beach at the minute. So yeah, so the wave spell that we're moving into is the energy of yellow sun. So the 20 signs in Mayan astrology, yellow sun is the final sign. It's the 20th sign. So we go from the individuality of the red dragon, which is all about the primal mother, into we go through all of the different signs and then we arrive at yellow sun. So yellow sun is essentially like the energy of the sum of all parts. And it's also the energy of the divine masculine, the great father. We've got the great mother and we've got the great father. So yeah, yellow sun energy is very much about integration. There's a completion that comes with yellow sun. And if you're familiar with the IFS model, internal family systems, it really fits in. And somebody that I know very well, she works with IFS. She's like the IFS queen. And interestingly, she is a yellow sun. And this model of internal family systems is that, essentially in a nutshell, within us, there are lots of different parts of us that have got different roles and have had different experiences. And the idea is that the more that we bring in this self energy, the more that we bring in the truth of who we are, the more that we integrate, and the more that we integrate, the more that we get access to the self energy. So there's this real energy of kind of bringing everything together. So over the course of this 13 days, there probably is going to be, feelings of completion. I think we're probably going to end the Mercury retrograde within this period. I'm not 100% sure because they are two slightly different systems, but I think that we most probably will. It makes sense. So yeah, you can kind of feel into the experiences of the past few wave spells because I know, from experience, been in it as well. It's been absolutely mental. It's been really, really, really intense, and now is kind of the time to really bring those parts of us that we have shamed or disconnected from, and give them space to be a part of our lives. So, for instance, my own personal experience, a huge part of my identity as a teen onwards was to be a really big party head. And then I kind of got to a point of like, actually, that feels really out of balance, da da da, and then completely cut off from that part of myself. So for me, within this sphere, there's going to be an element of allowing that part of myself in, as opposed to, I think sometimes when we try to fix things about ourselves or overcome things, behavior patterns, addictions and whatever, all we do is like cut off from it. So the energy and the wounding and whatever is still very much there. We're just not giving it any attention. So it's not actually healed and been integrated. But in order for parts of us to integrate, we have to give them space to play out. And this might be true, like as I'm speaking and getting the thing, that this might be true for relationships too. So relationships, whether they be friendship or intimate or whatever, variety of relationships. If there are relationships in our lives that we've cut off from, and we've not actually gone through the completion process of, these relationships might come in during this yellow sun wave spell too. So there's this real, I think the thing to just hold on to and bear in mind throughout the 13 days is this energy and this idea that it's all about integration. So no matter what's going on, if we have a massive binge or if we go like crazy and stay up for 3 days, or if we go and splurge loads of money, or if we go and gamble, or if we, these parts of us that we're like, oh, I really don't want to be doing that anymore. It's really, the invitation is to really hold on to this feeling of, okay, this is about integration. Can I still love myself in this space? Because if we are pulling away from something through shame, then, like I say, we're not getting the integration. We're just deciding not to look at it, you know, like. But if we can go into those spaces and do whatever shadow transformation techniques that we do, you know, within that, then if we can really allow ourselves to still be loving towards ourselves, even in those spaces, then we've got a better chance of doing it with other people too. You know, I've had a huge blessing, the connection in this lifetime with my adopted mama, and you know, she has really taught me, you know, our relationship, I guess, has taught each other that we can weather storms together. We can really go into those conflict places, those places that are very, very difficult and we don't want to go. But the love that we have for one another takes us then to the next level. So it's the same thing with the relationship with ourselves. You know, we've really got to give ourselves permission. I think we, you know, we live in this totally like mind muscle obsessed world, and you know, I think a lot of the time people still got all these underlying insecurities that force them into doing healthy things, you know. So as opposed to it coming from a place of self-love, it's still coming from that same energy as sabotage, but it's just forced in a different direction. So really the invitation with this Wavespell is to permit us ourselves to do and be and feel and interact in whatever way that we are doing, but really drop into that loving space with ourselves, which is always the case, but especially because this energy is about the sum of the whole, the completion of our journey. And also, I think a really important thing to hold on to too is this idea that, like, you know, it's not. I was having this conversation with somebody a little while ago, and the person that actually taught me, like, to initiate me into my Reiki mastership, mentioned this. It doesn't have to be either or, it's and. So I remember when I was doing my Reiki mastership, I was incredibly feeling, you know, super duper connected, but I had this huge conflict because I was smoking. And it's like, well, it doesn't take away what I'm doing. You know, what I'm doing, I'm still doing, but I'm also doing that. So the close to it needing to be this like binary, dualistic idea of what's good and what's bad and what's light and what's dark, you know, it can be all of it. And you know, we are a product of a really hellish journey. The human being journey is hellish. You know, there's no doubt about that. Everybody gets mega fucked up. Everybody gets really, really hurt. And you know, we have to develop whatever we have to develop in order to cope with that. So as we're doing this personal development and as we're integrating and as we're evolving, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden we're going to wake up and be incredibly pure. And we can try and force ourselves to doing that, but inevitably we will sabotage it because the beliefs that are underneath are still operating in the same way. So it's really this actually, yeah, okay, I've got these shadow sides, I've got these coping mechanisms, and I'm also, look at where I am in comparison to where I was, and look at the things that I am doing that are for health and happiness and all the rest of it, you know? So how can we kind of really, really hold on to that space of, you know, self-love and self-acceptance, regardless of what goes on? And I feel like, you know, within the 13-day process as well, there is going to be completions of things. So, you know, you don't need to put pressure on it, but by giving ourselves the space, you know, this can be like a really, excuse me, we can utilize this energy, we can utilize this journey to really give ourselves the space to just let go and allow ourselves to then be held by spirit and guided into the integration, you know, guided into perhaps letting go of these, you know, these behaviors or whatever. But really we have to let go and allow ourselves to surrender to the force of it before we can then take the next step. So I think there will also be completions, not just with behaviors, but with relationships too. So if there's that person that you've kind of been avoiding, attempting to work through something with, or that person that you've been avoiding because you fancy a bit, or you know, whatever it is, if you can just allow yourself to really be brave and step into that space. Because interestingly, you know, I think sometimes this like these two sides of like this control thing. You know, I need to control so that I'm a really healthy person and I do this, that, and the other. Sometimes the bravest thing can be to let go of that control and see what happens. And then from there, it's surrendering it to the higher purpose, isn't it? And something always comes in and grabs you and sorts you out. You know, it's the way that this beautiful flow of life works. You know, when we let go, the current does take us somewhere. When we're swimming against it, we just get fucked and we don't really go anywhere. So yes, I hope that you have a really beautiful beautiful Wavespell, and yeah, all is going magically for me here. I think I'm going to be talking at a conference in the US, which is very exciting, about alternative schooling and connecting in with some really amazing people there. You know, a huge thing for me is children and young people, and you know, we've come to change systems, so let's do that. So yeah, sending you loads of blessings. I'm still doing reports and everything from here because yeah, the internet is actually pretty cool, so that's really good. So if you want a short report, they're like £22. If you want an extended report, which also involves human design analysis, about £55. But I've really focused on making all of my prices sliding scale. So if you're not able to, that feels like too much money, just talk to me and we can work something out. So sending you loads of love. Bye bye.